this toxic shit going on. We need some resistance in the world. Only resistance to hate is love. Hate is human. When nothing's going wrong with evil, what you're doing, there are demons dealing with fakes like Richard Wright. Investigators for truth always being punished. Being punished. Not about the views here, my lovelies. Give us desire to go to hell. Souls live for eternal. Bodies dies for word found. Rise up, rise up. Resist the evil in the world. Rise up, rise up. Be the resistance to tyranny. Saturnalia can suck my genitals. Bring your shit to the resistance. Justice system run by criminal occult just to cover up the child abuse. Paedos, how dare you keep paying your taxes when all it does cover up the crimes in the world. Society is a bunch of satanic slaves, oh well. Round up these fucking cunts. Rise up, rise up. Resist the evil in the world. Rise up, be the resistance to tyranny. Saturnalia can suck my genitals. Bring your shit to the resistance. Masonic cults behind Israel genocide, happy to kill children through lies to bombing. Rise up, AP kill children through lies to bombing. Rise up, resist the evil in the world. Rise up, be the resistance to tyranny. Saturnalia can suck my genitals. Bring your shit to the resistance. Take your fake news with your genocidal legislations, ram them up your ass. We don't need fucked up ideas destroying our freedoms and rights. We're the resistance, kicking you the nuts. Kicking you the nuts. Conspiracy theory is not a theory. Agendas are going down, not a theory. Fucking bitches know the truth. You choose to be dumb despite our trying to free the dumb. It's the reason they call freedom. Rise up, resist the evil in the world. Rise up, be the resistance to tyranny. Saturnalia can stop my genitals. Bring your shit to the resistance. Public will always be a rescue mission with the truth, while many choose to be prisoners of the lies by the system. War continues on until sleeping masses awake. Deep state governments, the rich and corporations, not the problem. Problem is the public choosing not be informed for deep state to kill them. You keep the rest of us enslaved to always be murdered for knowing truth. Rise up, resist the evil in the world. Rise up, resist the evil in the world. Rise up, be the resistance to tyranny. Rise up, resist the evil in the world. Rise up, be the resistance to tyranny.
Hold on. Oh, my Stream Deck. Oh, I'm gonna have to edit that, am I? I'm gonna have to edit that. Yeah, my Stream Deck. Yeah, I was looking down. I was like, okay, that's fine. I was looking at my OBS. I was looking at my OBS. I was like, okay, that's fine. But where are my green bars? Because if you guys, so, oh, s- so that's been okay, okay. I have to keep an eye on that. If it's me about me knowing about it. Right. Hmm. But at least everything's at my fingers now with that Stream Deck, on another level anyway. So I'm pretty glad of that. So, and if we want theatre, we can go straight into theatre and have a look at stuff, shall we? Right. Yeah, that's what I'm watching now. But let's do it properly, right? And should we have a look at Israel controls porn? That looks like, an interesting one to look at, isn't it? Should we have a look at that, guys? Yeah, let's do it. Let's get down. Well, what I'll have to do as well is basically put like a timestamp, and I'm gonna have to look into that and put like a timestamp in, and we go from there. I know. While I'm doing that, I'm gonna put myself in as well.
Hello, I'm CJ Wellerman, and in this episode, we reveal Israel's hidden agenda in the American adult film industry. But first, please remember to like and subscribe to our show. Now, let's get into it. Look, I know what you're thinking, but you're wrong. I did not watch a lot of porn as part of my research for this episode, mostly because I didn't need to, given the evidence for Israel's hidden hand in the adult film industry is hiding in plain sight, although hardly anyone in the mainstream media is willing to talk about it. You see, pornography, like any form of media, is just another means of communication. And what the State of Israel does better than any other country is to seize control of media production companies. And I mean all forms of media, including cable television networks, newspapers, Hollywood film companies, and adult film studios. This total subservience to the Zionist agenda is well documented, but less known is the way Israel has embedded itself within the porn industry to advance its political agenda. As reported 23 years ago, when Israeli forces seized control of 3 Palestinian television stations in the occupied West Bank and then broadcasted porn into the living rooms of Palestinian families. Today, we have Zionists like Michael Lucas, an Israeli citizen who runs a major gay porn studio called Lucas Entertainment in New York City. He is one of the leading figures behind the effort to pinkwash Israel's criminal occupation by marketing the Jewish state to Western audiences as a uniquely gay friendly country in a predominantly Muslim corner of the world. He was behind a tourism campaign titled Israel Has Never Looked Sexier, featuring gay Israeli men, and a documentary titled Undressing Israel Gay Men in the Promised Land. But more recently, he wrote his name on Israeli bombs that were dropped on innocent women and children in Gaza, and then later received a personal thank you note from an IDF platoon for his monetary donation towards their genocidal actions in the Palestinian territory. He now complains about being cancelled for his pro genocide views, while claiming he's the victim of a Soviet style hush campaign.
Tough. I mean, if you're gonna go around and be a total idiot, a total despot, and committing crimes against humanity and all that, I mean, you deserve to get raped in so many different levels. I mean, on YouTube, and I just say the word "fuck it," because I'm in it for the money. But at the end of the day, I mean, these people that go around, causing harm and all that, especially on these levels, I mean, they do not deserve, I mean, our time, to be honest. But but because they got money and all of that, they think, oh, you can't touch me. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you got money or not. If you're being an absolute arsehole prick and destroying lives, you deserve to be kicked in the nuts. But anyway, let's continue.
and in a very public style, then him or else. This is exactly like it was in Soviet Union. Someone is accusing something, and someone is well known. Then everyone have to condemn this person. That's exactly that because it's pressure. Because not everyone is anti-Semitic in the adult industry. Some models are anti-Semitic, and some just don't know anything about the conflict and have an impression that Israel is an aggressor and Palestinians are underdogs. So,
The Israeli porn industry is booming, and it's not just about sex. It's also about power and
But the thing is, he sits there all smiles and so forth, and yet historians like Ilan Pappé and all that, who are Israeli themselves, have written books and all that exposing what's really going on with stuff like ethnic cleansing of Palestine and the greatest or the biggest prison on earth books and all of that and so forth. You know what I mean? So anyway.
influence, according to an Israeli newspaper. It's about pushing pro-Israel and anti-Palestinian content wherever eyeballs gather online, and nowhere attracts more views than pornography websites. Remembering that traffic in the adult world is greater than that of Netflix, Amazon, and Twitter combined. But here's the point. Israel and the United States have weaponized porn by adding to its arsenal of tools to win hearts and minds in the Arab world. Both countries believe that selling Western sexual norms, ideals, and fantasies to Arab men will.
But the thing is, this is the problem. This is the problem. When people of the West, you know what I mean, I'm different, you know what I mean, but and it doesn't feel like me that are different, right? But you get a lot of people in the West. They go, oh, there's people in the Middle East and blah blah blah, you know what I mean, and so forth. But they don't realize the three books. Well, let's just look at the Bible and look at the Quran. Both talk about, you know what I mean, no Sodom and Gomorrah stuff. You know what I mean, none of this pervertedness and all of that and so forth. So really, like me and my you know what I mean, Islamic lady and all that, we get it. You know what I mean? And we sort of like understand. I mean, if you got people that want to be pure and you want nations to be purified and all that and so forth and everything else, you know what I mean, and being clean in the mind, it's a pure first. The thought, the mind, are pure. If your thoughts and your ideology are pure, are corrupt and all of that and so forth, I mean, then you got to look at your own house, your own mindset and everything and so forth. You can't look at the rest of the world because you're still looking from within all the time. It doesn't matter you think you're looking out. It's the brain that's processing. It's basically filtering a lot of stuff. It's doing all that sort of thing. So you're, yeah, I mean, so you got to look within to understand what's really going on. You got to clean up your mind and all that before you can even start to think about judging. People judge without thinking. You know, before you even start to judge, you got to think: are you going to be judging correctly? Yeah, I mean, is your own programming or knowledge and so forth is that corrupt? And so therefore, when you've got where sex has become a weapon, especially in the West by these corporations and all that and so forth, and they sort of like creating this frustration, like, oh, you can get this woman, that, and this guy, and all of that, and then you look across and it's like, I mean, you've got all these people that are alone, single, you know what I mean, at home, wishing they were with somebody, but they don't, but they jumping on to look at porn to get rid of the frustration, and then before long, we've got this total chaotic society going on and stuff like that, instead of looking within oneself to say, hey, have I, fallen for all the traps of the system and so forth? I mean, people don't, not everyone asks that question. I mean, so before, and we see it in every country. I mean, that goes, it must be them over there. No, we need every single person in every single country. We've got to ask the question: are we doing good? Because you can be racist to your fellow brother and sister who's the same color as you. Because at the end of the day, we are supposed to be souls that come to this planet and become better spiritually. We're not supposed to be like, oh, I'm white, so I must be like a white man. Oh, I'm black, I must be a black. No, we're supposed to be improving on a spiritual level. Skin's gonna be gone. So why are we so worried about what the color of our fucking skin? Think of what's in the heart, spiritually and everything else. Are we doing what's right spiritually and everything else? End of the day, are we got a clean temple? You know what I mean? Funny how they call it at the side of the temples, and you know what I mean, clean out temple up here, clean our minds up and everything else. That what it means to keep your temple clean, keep your home clean, and all that, and so forth. But we've got systems in place that is corrupting us through sugar, through alcohol, through so many different things. And then we're wondering why then the world is fucked up and corrupt the way it is. But anyway.
Help degrade Islamic values, and then ultimately the Arab family unit. I know it sounds crazy, but the idea of separating Islamic men from their religious and cultural values was the motive behind the Bush administration's so-called porn invasion of the Middle East during the early 2000s. The Snowden leaks reveal how US spy agencies used porn sites to target so-called radical Muslims and blackmail and shame journalists and activists into silence.
Washington Post obtained documents from NSA leaker Edward Snowden. According to the report, the NSA tracked the online porn habits of 6 Muslim extremists who were trying to convert others to radical Islam.
Today, Israel's grubby fingerprints are all over the porn industry. So much so that Israeli political and tourism advertisements now run on the world's largest porn site, Pornhub, which recently made global headlines for monetizing and profiting from sexual abuse and human trafficking.
Hub is solely specifically about holding Pornhub accountable for. They found dozens of illegal videos on the site within. She was found in 58 videos being raped and abused on the site. They were begging for those videos to be taken down. They say, even after I'm dead, I know that people will be getting money and pleasure from the worst moments of my life.
Pornhub is owned by a company called Ethical Capital Partners. Its CEO is a Jewish rabbi named Solomon Friedman. He was ordained in occupied Jerusalem, but now oversees the world's largest porn site, the site charged with platforming and monetizing child sexual abuse and rape, which, when you think about it, makes Friedman the ideal candidate, given he lived in Israel, otherwise known as the child rape capital of the Middle East. Israel is where American Jewish pedophiles flee to escape law enforcement in the United States. Even Israeli newspapers describe the Jewish state as the promised land for pedophiles, while its politicians move to pass new laws that lower the age of consent from 16 to 14. This truly is a deranged and demented society. To quote,
I absolutely totally agree with that. You know what I mean, because like Christians get attacked by people within Israel. You know, the people in America, like what? Yeah, a lot of Christians get attacked. I mean, it's not just Palestinians. You know what I mean? So, which Palestinians are the true Semites. So, Eamon's just about to go, are you anti? Oh, bollocks. You know, you're anti? Oh, he's just, yeah. So, Palestinians are actually Semites and stuff like that. So anybody killing a Palestinian, you're anti-Semite, you. Anyway, so take that. I mean, you Zionists. All right. But that's the thing. I mean, because we got so much in Christians, even in Australia. You know, I mean, US of A. I mean, Britain and all of that. A lot of Christians don't realize. I mean, if you went to Israel, a lot of people would have to look down at you and spit at you and stuff like that. And then if you then went across then into Palestine, they wouldn't give two shits about you. They just kill you dead. I mean, they see you as Goyim, or was it the Malek, or whatever it is. You know, I mean, they call the rest of the world. I mean, they see us. I mean, if you're not them, and I mean, and you are a Christian, you know what I mean, especially if you're a Christian, they see you that you should be dead. Yeah. That's why people like myself and all of us speak up, because I have been christened as a Christian and all of that and so forth. And I got one thing to say. You want to bring war? I think we've got something for that. I mean, if you want to bring war to us Christians and all of that, come face to face to me, you Zionist piece of shit, and I'll eat your nuts off or rip up your own vagina with my own teeth. Because think of it, Jesus is coming back with a sword, and as you are going to be attacking his people, which are Islamic people and Christians, bring it. Oh, and to my fellow brothers, you know what I mean, Christian and Islamic brothers, let's unite under one banner. Barry, let's continue.
Quote, a former Israeli president. But let's circle back to Rabbi Solomon Friedman and this Time magazine article, which states his objective at Pornhub in black and white, even pointing to the fact that his status as an ordained rabbi is a key to selling what the porn site claims to be ethical pornography. His job is to not only steer the company through its child sex abuse scandal, but also normalize pornography throughout the Muslim world.
Licenses you guys could buy. Why did you guys target buying Pornhub?
Yeah, so we saw an extraordinary opportunity. The fact that it's newsworthy or noteworthy that we made the acquisition, that should tell you that this is a space that has not had mainstream investment, right? That it's a space. I always said, when we looked at the business, it's a business that's legal. Not only is it legal, but in every Western democracy, it's constitutionally protected. It could not be outlawed.
In the Bible, it is. And also, I mean, and the stuff I'm reading in the Quran, and I'll show you guys now, I do have the Quran on my phone as well. Actually, I got both on my phone, to be honest. There you go. I'm going to have to come big, you're going to have to come big. There you go. There you go. There we go. Let's do that. If you guys can see it. Quran 360, yeah, I got that on that, and I got the Bible on it as well. You know what I mean? And I know the King James Version Bible is corrupted on many levels, so I'm actually looking for other Bibles as well to look at. So, but yeah. Let's do this, is it, guys? Let's go in and finish it.
Even if you want.
So what they're saying is, we're happy to bring Sodom and Gomorrah to the West. That is what this guy is actually saying. You know what I mean? Listen to what he's actually saying, guys. He is saying, we don't mind bringing Sodom and Gomorrah to the United States of America. We don't mind bringing Sodom and Gomorrah to the UK. We don't mind bringing Sodom and Gomorrah to Japan or Australia and stuff like that through these websites and all that they up. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, let's rock and roll.
Wanted to, but it doesn't have that legitimacy. And one of the reasons for that, and as we start to examine the business further, was
go at free, fight censorship, and support free speech.
that nobody wanted to say we are the owners of a major adult company, right? Everyone, they wanted the benefits of owning a major adult company. It's a profitable business, but nobody wanted to be out front and engaging with other tech businesses, with government, with law enforcement, with regulation in that sort of way that the modern tech industry has to. So we saw in that this arbitrage opportunity, right? Where if people who
Right, put it this way. If the Almighty said it was okay to go down that route and say sodomize yourself and all that and so forth, well, not sodomize, but it's okay to go down that route on the sexual side and all of that, then yeah, it would be okay. But I've noticed in the background as well, guys. I just noticed that. I just saw that now. I don't know if you guys spotted it. But oh damn, I can't see it. Yeah. Damn, it's not bringing it up for me. I've got the tools for drawing on here. Ah, there you go. Found it. Nice. Well, I'll show you now, guys. I'll show you what I mean. I'll go above the video up here. And look at back here. God bless America. So they're talking about porn and all of that and everything else and so forth. And then yet you got God bless America. Oh, and I'll just let you guys know, if you check out the word dio, because we know it's in carbon dioxide now, dio also means God as well. So when they're saying, oh, we're going to reduce carbon dioxide or that, they're going to say we're going to reduce the creator's wish on letting trees and all that take in God and all that and so forth, because dio actually means that. And if you guys don't think it does, so because think of it, when trees taking carbon dioxide and all that and so forth, there you go. I know it's got an AI thing there as well, but I could scroll down. I got dio in Italian directly translate to God in English. Latin word deus, also meaning God, and I mean, so, and as we know, a lot of these sick fucks are related to the Saturnalia and all that and so forth, and they don't mind wrecking God's creation and everything else and so forth, and that's why you've got these people. I mean, we can go down here. Yep, so you got all this down here, all saying the same God, 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 deity, and all that, right? So, yeah, I mean, I've already done my research. I've done like days on it, actually, looking into it. But anyway, that's why I'm like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. But you guys always do your own checking and research and all of that and so forth. But anyway, so we got this clown, you know what I mean? We'll put an I in him for idiot. We're going to draw another line that side. Yeah, so that's an I for idiot. Basically, he's going against God and all that. He's going against the creation. He's going against the Almighty and all that. We're going to get another prick with a beard like him. You know what I mean? David Keefe. You know what I mean? Who does the geoengineering, trying to fuck God's planet up. But anyway, so these clowns are going around and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Perverting, they're psychopathic, they're not about keeping the planet nice and tidy and all of that, you know what I mean, and everything else. And basically, so we got these clowns going around, you must pay for everything to stay alive. Wrong. If you took away money, guys, if you took away money and all of that and so forth, say if money was never existed, right, we would still be shagging and bringing in life. Money doesn't create life or keeps us living. It's your actions that keeps you fucking living. End of the day, let's get down to real brass tacks about this, right? It's your actions that keep you living, not money or anything like that. And it's a person's actions that sentence someone to die or not as well, not money and all of that. You know what I mean? So let's bring now money back in, to the equation. And you got a system that people got to pay the bills and all of that and everything and so forth. Of course, money's going to talk in that type of system. But if you take away money 100% away, then we are held accountable no matter what, and purely accountable without having to worry about bills and all that. And then if you then do something criminal and all that and so forth, then that then is doubly 100% on you. Not single, but double. But right, let's continue.
Come from the mainstream professional networks, whether it's law enforcement, tech, finance, etc. This is an opportunity to really bring this industry into the 21st century. We saw an extraordinary opportunity to do that with this jewel of an asset, Pornhub, but obviously with the entire company.
I love it. It's a jewel of an asset. So,
Presumably, Friedman was chosen to defend Pornhub over its underage sex scandal because of his previous experience in defending pedophiles during his career as a high-end attorney. In 2018, he even advised a room full of lawyers on how to negotiate shorter prison sentences for clients charged with pedophilia.
What you want to do is take your offender and distinguish them from these larger trends. That is to say, yes, this is happening and this evidence is not contested, but my case is different. So you want to distinguish your client on the basis of not just the number of images. That was an old game. That was, X number of images nets you this amount. You have to go farther than that because as we'll talk about when we talk about viewing the images in court, the trial judge viewing a representative sample, there are some images where if you have one of them, you'd rather have hundreds of a different type, or there are images that are just, on their own are so horrific. So you want to look really, and I say look, try to avoid looking if you can, but be able to categorize this in terms of what type of collection is this.
It should come as no surprise that Pornhub is also a huge financial backer of the Israeli lobby. It even punishes porn stars who express public support for Palestine by stealing their earned income and...
Let's go back a bit. Watch his eyes at all. Not his. When he says, look. He knows he gave the game away, right? He gave the game away right there. And when you got legal fraternities and lot, the whole legal system was. I know a lot of lawyers are going to be like, no, it's like this. Well, what's your actions doing right now? You're not going after governments, are you? Are you going after governments right now? Because don't forget, your legal basis and all that comes from the governments and all that puts out the statutes and puts out the legislations, puts out and all that. But you'll never dare go against the system that's all about going after the children and destroying people's lives and keeping people enslaved and all that. So, end of the day, the legal fraternities are not the solution. So when you then put that into consideration, where your congresses, your parliaments, or it doesn't matter what type of government you've got, when you got these creating organizations that are all about just keeping the public down in a total enslavement and so forth, they're not for the public; they're against the public. And then when you got people like this, then that hides behind certain things and all that, and then is trying to manipulate by using the legal system and all that to saying it's okay for adults to do naughty things to children and all of that. People like this should be dealt with, like my song suggests. And I'm not gonna sort of like put the word Minecraft after what I'm about to say next. These people should be put into a flipping wood chipper. I'll advocate that all fucking day long. I will never hide from my viewpoints, because these people deserve to be put into a wood chipper. Because, like it says, God demands us to be ruthless, demands us to spit truth with a ferocious force greater than a volcano, demands us that we break down the evil and all that and so forth, and use the truth, to break down the fake realities and all of that and so forth that have been created in this dimension. And that is the problem. So many people have gone along with the fake realities, the virtual way of thinking and stuff like that, instead of saying to their cognitive mindsets, hey, you know what I mean? How fake is my life because of people in Parliament, because of people playing roles of kings and queens and killing the public with guillotines, you know what I mean? And all that and so forth, and using the knights of the modern day known as the police to silence anybody that speaks through the fake paradigm that they've set up. Figure it. But anyway.
It should come as no surprise that Pornhub is also a huge financial backer of the Israeli lobby. It even punishes porn stars who express public support for Palestine by stealing their earned income and then donating the proceeds to Israel, as it did with Arab adult actress Mia Khalifa last year. A similar story can be told about the super popular adult site OnlyFans, which is owned by Jewish American businessman Leonid Radvinsky, who donated $1 million to the Israeli lobby immediately after the October 7 attacks. Money that was used to help Israel manufacture consent for its subsequent genocide in Gaza. Were you to put this another way, you could argue that the ad revenue generated from people watching pornography online directly funds the Israeli military and its criminal occupation. Remember this the next time somebody says, porn harms nobody. Because porn revenues do indeed support the Zionist state, which inflicts the worst human rights abuses imaginable on the Palestinian people. Maybe this explains why an astonishing 25% of Israelis are addicted to porn. Do they think they're killing Palestinians every time they masturbate? It's a fair question, given 82% of Israelis want Gaza completely cleansed. But the broader point here is the adult film industry is heavily intertwined with Israel and its quest for total domination in the Middle East. The world's most popular websites, from Pornhub to OnlyFans, are not only selling sex, but also shaping narratives and influencing global agendas on behalf of the Zionist lobby. Our mission is to expose every one of these clandestine operations. But that's all I have time for today. Please remember to subscribe to this channel, and we kindly ask you please support our effort to expose and confront injustices in the Muslim world.
Kind of think of it this way, guys. Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit at home to us Brits and all that. Because the British media quite a lot keeps throwing out Madeleine McCann as, what if, I'm not saying it is, right? What if Madeleine McCann got thrusted onto one of these Israeli porn sites? Think about that. What if? You know what I mean? Despite I have watched the Richard D. Hall stuff and all of that, and in the videos he does talk about there was blood in one of the rooms and all that when the McCanns were staying and all that and so forth. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. It's very interesting and all that. But what if, right? She didn't fully die, and there is a bit of blood from McCann, man McCann, and that, but somehow she survived. Let's say, right? And then she ended up on one of these porn sites and all that. You know what I mean? And yet the mainstream media and all that knows about it, let's say, right? And so they're using, like, what some would say black witchcraft on the public and all that, because they know what's going on, let's say, right? But yet a lot of the public, because we've, got hearts, we've got emotions and all that, and we care and stuff like that, when something like this happens to a child, it goes missing out, you know what I mean? I know I'm one of the first, I'm like, oh my God, you know what I mean? And and people can see as well when watching shows with family stuff in. I do start to break down. You know what I mean? But then you've got to sort of like sorry, I just think about that. Sorry. You've got to sort of like separate yourself and and look at it from a clarity point of view and everything else. I mean, you guys have the question: how many of these people up on these porn things, and all that, are actually children that got kidnapped, put into that type of system, and now they've grown up or whatever sort of thing, and these could be actually children or people that got kidnapped, and these are the ones that we've been looking for, despite of all these missing and wanting posters and all that, and like wanting, as you said, have you guys seen it? We need them to come home and all that and everything else. You know what I mean? Think about that. You watch now, I put in the porn industry in the 7 hours, they'd be like, those people, yeah, they get loads of views, but the views won't be there to jerk off or anything. They'd be like, could that be my daughter or son? You know what I mean? And then you see people holding up pictures and stuff like that. They doing this. You know what I mean? It is. And then they phone up the company and all of that, and the police goes round, and you get like missing people reunited with their families again, and all that. That would be cool. You know what I mean? If it is going on like that, because as we know, a lot of sex trafficking and all that is, and a lot of these sex places and all that is kidnapping people. End of the day, a lot of it is that. So let's rock and roll, shall we? Let's rock and roll and find out how many of these people that works in these industries have been kidnapped. And on top of that, the reason why a lot of these people go as well, end up doing sex for a living and all that, because most of society, the public, don't stand up against the financial institutions that are deliberately robbing from us, which we are seeing right now on an economic side of things, where the economic structures are failing, are crumbling, and all of that are being destroyed. And because people are just just walk about their daily lives, ignoring what's really going on, more people are turning to destitutions and becoming part of the Sodom and Gomorrah way of living, and much, much more. And people think, oh, it's cool, it's good. No, it's not cool. It's fucking barbaric. It's absolutely disgusting. It's absolutely degenerative. And it corrupts the spirit, it corrupts the soul and stuff like that. And I mean, a lot of us have been down that route. I mean, even I was younger and so on. I mean, you can get led in that direction and so forth and everything. And then you've got to have the mindset and the will to stay away from all of that. You know what I mean? Sometimes the flesh takes over and stuff like that, and you've got to have the spirit to dominate and be masterful over the flesh. But what do governments and the education and all that do? They don't teach anything spiritual. They treat people, the public, as a dead thing, and it's okay to steal from the public. That's what establishments is in the word. He stab or she stabbed the mindset, because ment also mean, as we know, it means mind. You know what I mean, and stuff like that, and you get the word stab there. I mean, within it, so people happily to let their thoughts be stabbed and let their mindsets be filled with other people's intentions and stuff like that, instead of saying, hey, I need to close raise up the drawbridge to keep all the bullshit out and keep out what corrupts. It's like the scene from Monty Python. That's how most of our mindsets are like, where you see the people are working on the fields covered in mud and stuff like that, which is like most people's mindsets, dirty, corrupted and all that and so forth. And then you see the king come along all clean and so forth. And that's what our mindset's got to be like a king, you know what I mean, or God or whatever. Like, I'm not calling kings gods, you know what I mean. They'll never be gods, kings. But we've got to be pristine, clean with our mindsets and stuff like that and so forth. You know what I mean? Because how can you tell you're watching something that the Zionist own? Yeah, your shit's covered in mud and your mindset's covered in shit and mud and all that. Anyway, so let's continue.
by becoming a member of this show at patreon.com/CJ Wellerman. We can't produce a sustain and grow this show without your help, and we offer exclusive benefits to those who do. But for now, good night, good morning, wherever you are, and stay blessed.
Guys, I keep forgetting to press that button. I'm going to stop pressing that button. I'll just do that. I'll just do that. Be easier. But yeah, so there you go, guys. Let's rock and roll. Let's do that. Yeah, like I was saying, guys, Glenn Beck is control opposition and all that and so forth. Don't fall for that. I mean, you can listen to him and stuff like that and work out for yourself, but just remember, you know, he is controlled. But yeah. I'm doing 6 hours anyway, guys, so let's check this lady out.
Go ahead free, fight censorship, and support free speech.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee Chat. It's Dr. Jane Ruby, and it is Tuesday, June 10th. We are plowing through the year, and we are watching some really interesting, contrived,
Yes, guys, a lot of people see the heart as loving and stuff like that, and so on, and all that other stuff, right? But I'm going to say this because I know there'll be a lot of other people that knows the heart symbol as something else. Guys, this lady, she comes across as genuine, she comes across as natural and all that and so forth. I don't think she's part of the Bail Club, okay? The B-A-L. Because I haven't looked into her background or what. She could just be just a normal woman and all that, and just happily speaking and everything else. Because I know a lot of people will be thinking this. A lot of people will be thinking that, you know what I mean? It's good to have that in your mindset. It shows you are, you know, checking and researching and all that. But not everybody that has this heart symbol is part of the Bail Club, okay? Let's keep going.
made up and orchestrated things happening. And we've talked a lot about how the government, and through its various minions and NGOs and agencies and all the other, thousands of groups that, bring back, it's the same old formula. They bring back, it was Antifa or Occupy, and we learned from 9/11, let's blame the Muslims and the dancing Israelis and the twirling, Polish and all this other bullshit. And we're seeing it play out. And it's really amazing to me how many people are responding the way they want you to. I guess I have to keep talking about it, but it's tough to watch. I want to thank Stella in Dubai. She's a wonderful supporter has sent me some beautiful, beautiful, these are royal cups. But still, I've got the blue lion today. I'm in the blue lion mood. So if you listen to the podcast, make sure you go to my Substack and subscribe there. You can subscribe for free and get the first few minutes. You can always see the entire video. There's no paywall for the entire video on Rumble. Apparently there's another conversation going on out there.
I love those creatures. You know what I mean, I think they took I think they birds maybe related to some parrots or something. But also, I have used another creature like that as well in the mammal kind as well. Within the it's a shame she didn't turn the camera on. You know,
Okay. Let's talk about how we know this is all fake. You learned with COVID, if they create chaos, if they create an emergency, all about getting all of us out here to be distracted when they want us to be distracted. You know all that. There's nothing new there. But remember, the bottom line is it's too much work, too much effort, too messy.
right with that. Well, that's better. Instead of everybody have it. Oh, look at this, guys. I'm trying to post something. I hadn't already said that. You know what I mean? It's unless what's happened, the bot when I posted it, it's like grabbed it and it's doubled it up. Unless it's done like a double thing and all that. So that's interesting. Let's have a check, shall we, guys, to see if it has posted. Sometimes when you type in and all that and everything else, it comes up saying, "Would you like to say that?" I'm like, I won't be typing it if anyone to say. Yeah, it's one of those things I got family and friends on that one, but.
So, the formula that you see over and over again, whether it's the COVID shots, the formula that you see over and over again, whether it's the COVID shots, the other flu, bird flu.
No, but it's like now I see people around me right now. They have become relaxed. They've become sort of like safe. You don't worry. Because then everything about you is not on a stress level. It's not on like you can't sleep and all that. But you're training yourself up to to be ready to react. That's all that is. So in other words, if you need to sort of like for example, if you see a child drowning, you're going to react and jump in and save. Just go through life, and they're just like, oh, no, that never happened to me. They will never be ready. Think about that. For what life throws at them. And I mean, there's going to be one thing that's always going to catch us off guard. And we know that. But if you can get yourself ready most of the time for whatever life throws at you, then that's beautiful. But yeah, but the government, people in parliament, people in the police, people in the military, people in the councils and all that and so forth. So I say, let's leave it to us. That then makes you become vulnerable. That makes you become on levels where you become dependent on the corrupt systems and everything else. It makes you become dependent on the real terrorists. I mean, because these establishment authorities are linked with technocratic corporations that are all about enslaving mankind anyway. But anyway.
Way to be protected from that is to do what the government tells you and to beg for them to give you safety. This supposed rioting is a very complex thing, but I do believe it's been orchestrated. Now, some of the facts on the ground are substantial. You watched Michael Jan, Ann Vandersteel, Oscar Blue, even Laura Loomer went down there, Brett Weinstein. You watched, you listened to these people. Eyewitness for you down at the border in Texas, down in Panama, watching everybody come up through the Darien Gap, in Texas at the border, Doc Pete Chambers. You got all these people that have told you and gave you all the receipts and the evidence and the video and the interviews and all that, that hundreds of thousands, and in Michael Jan's estimate, probably close to 10, 12, 15 million people have literally illegally walked in with the help of Customs and Border Patrol, cutting the fence and letting them in, that have been infiltrated. You've seen the buses take them to other cities. You've seen them get their bag of ivermectin and condoms and a cell phone and no need for shots because we don't want them dropping dead of a heart attack. We're going to need them, right? We've been warning you that these were 20 to 30-year-old military age, young, healthy men from various ethnic backgrounds, right? Just let them walk. Bad. What's the visual? You're watching them throw these people with their bad. What's the visual? You're watching them throw these people with their their scarves on and their masks and their hoodies, and you're told they're Muslim extremists, or you're told that they're Palestinians that are, and then you've got the people that call themselves Democrats. There is no. I'm so sick of you guys out there with big followings that are saying, well, the Democrats should do this, and the GOP is lazy. Anybody who's propagating the two-party myth is in on a lot, okay? Because there is no two parties. So anybody who talks about it, Charlie Kirk, Benny Johnson, or whatever his name is,
Go Ahead Free, fight censorship, and support free speech.
Well, those Dems, those darn Dems, it's both sides. There's no sides. Back to this orchestration. They want you to see the visual of the chaos, out of control, poor police, they can't handle it. Federal agents are in there, ICE agents, and they're getting thrown rocks and this and that, rocks that just sort of spontaneously show up. They want you to see that. They want you to get anxiety. They want you to write your Congress people, and they want you to beg for martial law. They want you to beg for military might. I want you to remember something. These are the same military people that are spraying your skies day and night on every square inch of this country. Indigo pilots. Killing machines. They don't give a shit about their own families, about your family, about you, about babies, about children running in their yard. They don't give a shit. You think they're an isolated group in the military? They want you.
And also as well, guys, I just did this now because I'm looking at a flat for myself, because I'm looking for a place because the landlord's selling this one, and I got less than 2 weeks to find a place. So as she speaks, I'm looking for a place. But don't forget, guys, if you're looking for a place as well, always ask the questions. Are they doing smart rent? Are they going along with the Great Reset legislations from the World Economic Forum and all the other stuff as well? Always ask these questions, because over 90% of the time, these people don't know about this stuff. Then if they are then having people asking, are you going over the smart rent? Are you going this? Then people start, why are so many people asking these type of questions? Ask them. Keep asking all these questions and all of that. Because then because if one person's doing it, they just go, oh, whatever. But if you then have an army of us, a majority of us asking these questions, you get them people to start thinking, wait, if that one's asking, oh, this one and that one, and why are people asking these questions? You will get people, not all, but you will get then those people to go and have a look, say, okay, smart rent is this. Oh, right, it is bad then. I mean, I didn't realize it had so many surveillance state connotations attached to it. You know what I mean? And then people will be will be forced to then drop the smart rent on main levels. Not everyone will drop it, but a lot of people, a lot of corporations will drop it because they do not want to have a backlash from the public. So so we are the ones that can basically well, be a pain in the ass, really, on truth readers, because and the thing as well, I've noticed anything that the government don't like us doing, they call it antisocial. It's funny though how government is a fictional corporation which needs flesh and blood people to make it look like it's real. So therefore, why we're taking orders for something that doesn't truly exist. But anyway, yeah, I mean, because they've created a fictional version of the mind, really, haven't they? So, as we know, government means to control the mind. You know what I mean? So, basically, they've taken what we do every day, trying to keep our thoughts and all of that in line, and they've created a corporate version of that, getting us to obey somebody else's will. Think about that. But anyway,
You to see military might coming into the cities and tamp down. And where are the arrests? You got a token or two since I mentioned it, but where are the arrests of the illegals and the radical protesters? Because it's really Antifa setting everything on fire. You know, you can't tell who's who in there. Where are the arrests?
yeah, and as we know, Antifa and those are part of the deep state. We know that, and the white hats and all of them are part of the deep state. You know what I mean? Anonymous are part of CIA and all of that. We know all that. You know what I mean? So, but those who don't research will not know that. So keep getting the word out, guys.
Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, that fraud down here, Dan Bongino. Where are the arrests? It's like shooting fish in a barrel. Where are the deportations? This is being set up, so let's get back to it, so that you will beg. So that you will beg for your own lockdown. You will beg for martial law, which is anything they want it to be, but it's generally lockdowns, curfews. You can only come out from 8 to 4 while you're working. Can only come out one hour a day to go to the grocery store because you're on martial law. For your safety. It's for your safety. The truth is out that everything is a lie. We've been living in a digital and a government prison, more digital lately, and they are driving it, including everybody. Trump, Kennedy, you can see they're all moving everything toward that, right? Kennedy does his bits and pieces so that you'll clap like drunken seals. You got people out there, I'm not going to say any names so I don't get sued, but you can tell people who were frontline doctors, don't take the shots, you think they're good, but they're saying, thank you, Secretary Kennedy. Thank you for doing this one little crumb while the mRNA shots are still there. So he pulls off, 17 people off the CDC Advisory Committee? That's not who makes the decisions. It's the FDA, which should have been dismantled, not restoring our trust in it. Pieces, red meat, red herrings, little distraction.
She's not wrong about that because they've already talked about that. Well, we can go as far back in short history. We had people speaking about this just a few years ago, like Ice Age Farmer and all that. We're talking about this. You know what I mean? And talking about the egg supplies and stuff like that. You know what I mean, there'd be a shortage on eggs and everything else and so forth. And then and plus, I mean, over 10 years ago, I was talking about if we do not protect the farmers, if we do not protect the farmers on the level of where we push back the parliaments, the congresses, and all of that, and where the families can basically have enough money, but then still offer, I mean, prices where us, the public, can afford enough where we can basically have enough food for ourselves, and then offer it to others, and maybe the people that live, on the streets. So, and a lot of you would know what I think about societies basically allowing people living on the streets and all that. You know what I mean? That shows how corrupt the mindset is. You know what I mean? If we think it's okay having people living out there in the cold to die off, then you are not a good person. You know what I mean? So, and when I go out and I talk to people on the streets and stuff like that and everything and so forth, I mean, a lot of them feels like society's failed them. And I would agree, because if you're not looking and trying to expose the World Economic Forum, if you're not exposing the criminal mafias of the system that are deliberately making people homeless and all that and so forth and everything, and putting the prices up on purpose, which affects you as well as the people that became homeless. I mean, they didn't sit there, I want to be homeless and all of that, I mean, the ones that ended up homeless. The prices got put up and they couldn't afford anything no more, no matter how much they tightened up on on the purse strings and all that and so forth. There was no way out. But yet we, the public, are overall should be coming together and pushing back, because the higher prices don't affect those in Parliament and all of that and so forth. All those in working for, because they have buddies that have printing presses that keeps them okay. It's us, the public, end of the day, that are getting screwed over every day, and we need to push back, because all our names are on their list as they see as criminals. There isn't a single person on a public level they do not see as a criminal. Doesn't matter if you've been to court and been found guilty or not. It doesn't matter. They still see you and me as criminals that must be punished. That's why they're rolling out these legislations. That's why they're rolling out the Great Reset. That is why they're rolling out the Agenda 2030s and all of that and so forth. They see us as criminals, and use their programming through the radios and the TVs and all of that, because they believe you and I do not have the right to have children. They see you and your children as criminals that must be destroyed. And if you don't like that harsh reality, then why are you even fucking born?
And you got Kennedy out there this last week, and into this week, and he's really shilling for gene therapy. Gene therapy. It's a nice way to say more mRNA, biological weapon, toxic poisons. Gene therapy. We're going to be innovative. We're going to be gene therapy. You see how in lockstep that is? Trump backing out Larry Ellison, the Stargate. We're going to bring you a custom-made mRNA. We're going to bring you mRNA that's so shiny and fabulous and gorgeous and life-saving, you're going to beg for it. We got to get you to beg for it. I mean, you make my own custom mRNA. If I get cancer again, it'll just cure me. God, use your brains. Yeah, we're going to forego like I don't know what it is, $40 billion maybe it's in the hundreds of billions actually, revenue generating treatment paradigm that we haven't touched, sacred cow, in 50 years of mutilating surgery, of biopsies that spread cancer, of chemotherapy that destroys half your body if you survive it. Yeah, we're going to forego that revenue generating golden cow to give you a customized mRNA that's going to cure you like that. Guys, come on. Come on. Let's be honest. DC isn't going to give.
Yeah, here she goes. Looks like she's going to get further into it now, jumping onto her show. Let's see where she brings.
Give you a heads up when things go south. The market's already sliding. Inflation, still here. And over $4.2 trillion has just vanished from retirement.
But we got to watch as well, guys, and I'll say it as well. Pardon me. Not that. Had a bit of wind, sorry. Basically, you gotta watch for false prophets and all that, because they can bring you the truth and all that and everything else, sound legit, sound genuine, and all of that. This is why I will always say do your own research and all that and everything, because I know a lot of people want followers. I know a lot of people want this, that, and so forth. I don't want followers. You know what I mean? I want people to be safe as best as possible. You know what I mean? And I mean, despite I said we live in a dangerous world and all that, you know what I mean, by knowing that nothing is really safe, you then, and it's like a paradigm. It's like not paradigm, a paradox. By knowing you're not safe, by doing things, you somehow carve out a bit of safety. It's weird. But anyway. But yeah, so make sure, you question everything, you make sure you get things in place and all that. And yes, expect people will knock you back a step or two as well. Expect that as well. And you just got to keep trying to get to that moment where you can say, yeah, I got past that. You know what I mean? So yeah. Whatever it is. No, I'm not saying what it is, because what you may have as a goal and so it may be different from mine. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, guys, check everything, question everything, and because at the end of the day, guys, say if the internet goes off tomorrow for all of us, we're not going to be able to speak to one another unless we live local to each other. Think of it. That's why I've always said I don't really like followers and all that. You know what I mean? I'm not being rude, but I'm being real as well. That the electricity and all that for us all could go off and we all lose connection with one another. That's what I mean. You know what I mean? So yeah, guys. So stay safe as best you can. You know what I mean? By working out. And don't make yourself go nuts over it either. You know what I mean? Just think. Say let's say 20 a day. Like, what else could I do to make sure this thing might not happen? It might happen or might not. But if it arose, what would I do in that situation? And all that, you know what I mean? But anyway, let's continue with this lady.
Accounts, and a recession is looking like it's now unavoidable. Look, that may not shake the billionaires on Wall Street, but if you've got a 401k or IRA, a hit like that could be a disaster. That's why more folks are.
To be honest, guys, under the Great Reset and the social credit system is coming in, they're going to wipe you to zero no matter what, no matter how much money you got in your bank and all this other stuff, no matter what economic industry you're in. If they want to take your money, they'll wipe it out. So invest in seeds, food, and all that. That's why you hear me on TikTok. Stay positive. Make sure you got plenty of food and all that. Make sure you got crops that you can turn into clothing, like cotton and all that and everything. So then we can still always have an industry and stuff like that. Like a clothing industry. We've got food there, and then we can build back up from, the crops and all that we got. And also from a lot of plants, we can still create oils, and everything else. So, and as you know, from from plants, we can create soap and all that. So yeah, so having seeds and all that, guys, and everything else is the key. You know what I mean? Well, what are the keys to keep going?
Turning to Augusta Precious Metals. They help you move part of your retirement into physical gold, something real, something that holds value when everything else is falling apart. And the best part? They make it simple. No pressure, no games, just a team that actually takes the time to walk you through it. So if you're serious about protecting what you've earned, go to goldwithjane.com or call them at 888-836-1890 and grab Augusta's free Gold IRA guide. It's your retirement. Make sure it's protected.
Only problem with that is, though, guys, if you can't get to these places and all of that, yeah, stick with food and water and all that and seeds and everything. And think of it as well, if somebody comes up to you and offers you a gold and you've got the last tin of food or the last sandwich and that, and you need it to survive, you and your family need it to survive, are you going to trade that sandwich for a bit of gold that you can't eat? No, you're not, yeah. So...
Gotta put it together. Unbelievable. Now there are, and I said in the mix, in these cities, I'm going to jump over to that for a minute again. You have these, it's not just Democrats, okay? But they are known as Democrats. Gavin Newsom. Oh, come on, arrest me. Yeah, all right. Trump's not going to arrest him. They're friends. They're probably relatives. And you've got Karen Bass in Los Angeles just standing up. Nah, 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 nah. Come get me. She actually has put out to the people of Los Angeles, stay safe, know your rights. And she's put out like pamphlets, right? And documentation, so that illegals will know how to enjoy their sanctuary city without getting nabbed.
Here's a question I don't think no one's thinking about is, how can you be illegal on a world that was created by God? Ask yourself that question. How can you be an illegal if we are supposed to be created in God's image on a planet created by God? Ask yourself that question.
by ICE agents, right? That's treason. That's committing felonies, aiding and abetting foreign enemies of the United States, if you want to get technical. Oh, but they're just working every day and they're just going to the grocery store and they're feeding their family. Their first act on American soil was to break our laws. Get effing real. Get real. You phony ass do-gooders. Well, no, not well. No. I have family members who went the legal way. It took them 15 years and thousands of dollars that they had to save for in increments to do it, to come in the legal way. And then they did the hard work of becoming American citizens, not just legal immigrants. So yeah, I'm mad. Yeah, but this is what they want. They let these millions of people in so that they could fire them up, pretend there was an invasion. I agree with Michael Yon. We have been invaded. And a lot of those guys were UN soldiers. are. All they have to do is put the uniform on and jump in the little white van, and you'll know you're done. So I'm not arguing that we aren't invaded by foreigners, but that invasion started years ago in the White House, in the West Wing. And, Susie Wiles is like, the new Fauci. You get these villains, right? These are these, like, bigger-than-life villains. And it's so easy for social media people. The chorus. Ooh, Susie Wiles, bad. Fauci, bad. He's got to be hung in the town square. They've got to be arrested. They're the vehicle for these elected and appointed officials to pretend to do something and not do anything at all. Susie Wiles. And what president, if he really wasn't in collaboration, in working together with somebody like Susie Wiles, wouldn't just have fired her after a few weeks? No. He says she's great. She's doing an incredible job. Like those big, beautiful bills and that greatest achievement of mankind shots. And then you have the Walmart family, because they're...
Oh my God, I think somebody's knocking. Right back.
eugenicist, son of a bitches that they're elites. They've got their underground bunkers. They put out this. There's this whole sort of campaign called No Kings, right? We don't have kings in the United States. We have the rule of law. You don't have jack rule of law, let me tell you. And most of you know that. They put out a full-page ad. I don't know where this was. Where was this? New York Times. Big money. On this program, on this campaign. The campaign is No Kings. Mobilize. Sure, bring everybody out into the streets. And it's all these values that we would all readily agree with. We're a people of principle and honor. Our commitments, we're lawful. We don't allow aggression. We care for our veterans and children. We're still sticking our children with a biological weapon. Still letting our vets on the street, sleeping under bridges.
No, that plugged in? No.
While the parade in D.C. on July 4th, with all the military tanks and everything, is going to cost, I think it was $50 million. Your vets are, we care for our vets and our children.
Yeah, I went to the door, guys. I looked up and down, couldn't see anybody. I think it was coming from the video, like a little tapping sound. And sometimes my brother taps like that as well on the door, so I'm like, I better check just to make sure. So anyway.
Yeah, okay. And we are the people of the United States of America. The honor, dignity, and integrity of our...
I was about being people of God. Fuck the countries. I was about being people of God and making sure, we're being peaceful and all that and so forth and everything. And being peaceful doesn't mean standing down and letting evil take over. Peaceful means if you see evil going on, you stand up against it. You stand up and you call it out. That is which the police, a lot of people forget about. So if the police are doing evil, you call them on their fucking bullshit. If the courts are doing evil, you call them on their bullshit. If Congress is doing evil, you call them on their fucking bullshit. Because these groups, these establishments and the secret services and all that, do not think twice on coming for us when we are speaking truth and killing us. Think about that.
Country. And the reason I'm mocking this is not because because those principles aren't real and aren't true. I'm mocking it because it's not what you think it is. Imagine if on June 14th, which, by the way, is Father's Day. Imagine if you all stayed home, if you hundreds of millions of Americans just stayed home, or you honored your father. If you're close and he's living, you do something special with him and focus on that instead of this crap. If you didn't have a good relationship and he was not a good father, then go find someone who's a father, elderly, who's alone, and do a random act of kindness. Do his gardening. Take him out for coffee. And if your dad is dead like mine,
I done it again, guys. I've got the mute button on over there, haven't I? Yeah, the thing is, as well, guys, with me, because I would see like a lot of older folks, you know, I mean, on their own and stuff like that. And I'd go over, I'm like, why are you on your own? They're like, oh, I got no one. I got no family and friends to come and see me no more. And I'm like, well, do you want me to buy you a coffee? You know what I mean? I'm like that. And they're like, what, you would do that? Hey. The rest of the world may be running around and basically forgetting that we're supposed to show compassion and all of that. I'm happy to show compassion and all that. It's who I am. And they'd be like, oh, yeah, I'll have a coffee. It doesn't have to be a coffee. It can be anything you want. You know what I mean? And sometimes they go, can I just have a glass of Coke? I went, well, yeah. You know, you can have something else you want. Tea or anything you want. You know, we give a lot more. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, get something to eat then. Yep, certainly. You know, and we end up, you know, sitting down, having I'd always go for my one. You know, I mean, back then it would have been iced tea. I'd be having my iced tea. I'd be having a cake and all of that and so forth. I get them a sandwich or whatever they want. You know what I mean? We sit down, we have a chat and stuff like that, and then you know what I mean. And then people be going, what? Are you buying for him? You know, about me? You know what I mean? They go, no, he's actually paying for me. He wants to spend his money and all that and so forth. Because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to, you know, I mean, go out and find the lost sheep. And all that. It says that in the Bible and all that. You know, I mean, it's what we're supposed to do. You know, it doesn't matter about the larger society and the whole and all that and so forth. You know, I mean, yes, you still need to get the word out to them and all that. It's like, hey, you know, do you know you're following this? Do you know you're following that? You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be, and everything. You know what I mean? But if people are still going to choose that path, they'll choose that path. But I would be going around and so forth and stuff like that, and I would see people get off these auras off, like they are feeling lost, they're feeling out of it, and so and I just go across it. Hey, you okay? Do you want a drink? Do you want something? That's just me. And then I noticed people then, you know, the arseholes of society. They started putting like negative stuff in my head, and people noticed I was becoming less doing that sort of stuff, going out and then buying stuff for people and all that. You know what I mean? You know, going out. You know, I don't mean like buying cars and nothing. No, didn't have money for that. But something simple like buy somebody something to eat. You know what I mean? And all of that. You know, something simple as that can go a long way. You know what I mean? Just sitting down, having a chat and all that can go a heck of a long way. You know what I mean? Because most people's fears, I would say, is being forgotten. You know what I mean? I think that is probably a lot of people's biggest fear, is to be forgotten. And especially amongst the elderly, you know what I mean? And so, I mean, and that's why I mean, if you went through my history, went into my mind, you would see I was spoken to a lot of elderly people, because I know one day I'm going to be 60, 70 and all that, and I know people of today in society, you're already doing it. You're forgetting people, and I know when I hit 70, if I get to that age, 60 to 70, no one's going to remember me. And then they're not going to remember you either, because that's the society we are creating. That we don't give a damn, we don't fucking care. You know what I mean? We selfish pieces of shit and all that, greedy fuckers. And I don't quite for what it is. Today's society is a cunt. You know what I mean? There's no way of putting it. Today's society is a taxing, paying, murdering son of a bitch cunt. End of the day. And if that offends a lot of people, good. You may start looking into yourself and say, well, am I that cunt then? I mean, am I being disrespectful to people? Am I being cold? Am I being ungrateful? Am I not being humble? Am I, and all that? Ask these fucking questions about it. Because to have a good society, it falls on us, each individual to be good. And the true definition of peace and everything. You cannot blame society when we are the fucking society. What we put out there becomes the society. Think about that. So, and you cannot blame the system when we, the people, the public, are the system. So what we do is what we create. So if people are on the streets and all of that and so forth, maybe it's because you and your job in that position has created that homeless person. Think about it. Are you the cunt that did that? Just think about it.
Then pay a tribute. Do something. Do something in his name. Go do some volunteer work and then say, I'm doing this in the honor of my father who's passed. Imagine if everybody stayed home and did something for Father's Day, because I don't want people writing to me and going, well, I don't have a father. Mine was, an idiot or whatever. Do something good. Do some good. And hardly anybody showed up. See, because they want your participation. They need your consent. They want you to beg for it. They want your voluntary engagement in it. Even if they're ginning you up. These people, the Waltons, they're going at it, dun, da, 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 American flag, dun, da, da. Right? There are a lot of people doing it a lot of different ways. Right? Then there's the other thing I put on Twitter is the chorus. The chorus, yes. And some of these people I used to know in my DC days. And it's interesting because I think they became feds and they became dark, deep state at different times back in those days when they stopped talking to me, when they shunned me, when they kept me out of their, I was always a part of their groups, 2015, 2016. Then those splits happened. Never knew why. Now I know why. Because I'm not controllable. And I'm not likely to cave to doing the dirty work of the feds. So I call it the chorus. Whenever you see a group of high profile people, some of them you might think, well, I like that doctor, I like that guy, he's former military, and he's said some good things, I like him, woo woo. But they become part of the chorus. The chorus, what does a chorus do in an orchestra, right? In a musical group. The chorus sings the same thing together.
Guys, you're going to believe it. I sent questions, right, to Live in Soho, right? They ignored my questions. So I said to them, I responded back to them, you answer my questions first. This is what I mean. Society being an arrogant piece of prick, being a cunt. So I'm thinking, you know what? You're going to be a cunt to me? I'm going to be a cunt straight back. So I sent them a thing straight back in a reply. I'm checking my emails right now. And I'm listening to it at the same time. And basically, I said to them, no, you answer my questions first. You know what I mean? Because this is what it is. People hide behind their position of jobs, you know what I mean? And they hide behind the jobs and policies, thinking, I've got this job now, you must answer me, only me. And I'm like, no, you answer my questions first before we move any steps fucking forward. If I've asked you a question, please answer it, because when somebody's asked me a question, I will answer it. And then I'll ask my question. But these people are absolutely pricks, guys. You know what I mean? And a lot of time, a lot of these people in these positions and all that and so forth that are supposed to be able to help you don't even respond to you. You know what I mean? And so forth. And then when they turn around to you and say, "Oh, why haven't you done this?" Because I was asking a question, you never fucking responded. You know what I mean? Yeah, because it's like one person said to me recently from the authorities, you know what I mean, have you done what we've asked you? I was like, you haven't sent it. And they're like, oh, yes, we have. So I'm like, look, I'll print screen it now and everything, and I'll do a video and all that. And if you don't be careful, I'll come down to the office, do a fucking live stream, and rip you a lot of fucking apart verbally and show you. And they're like, and then they looked on the thing, and it said on the computer, postmaster failure. You know that thing you get with emails? Yeah. They're like, so I said, no, next time you can keep your opinions and assumptions to your fucking self because you're harmful. But anyway, let's carry on.
Right? They're all saying the same thing.
Sorry, guys, I get passionate, don't I? It shows I'm still living. I'm still human.
All singing the same thing. So I say, here's an excellent example of the chorus. And I could show you many more, but somebody put together 3, Matt Walsh, Charlie Kirk, Jack Posobiec. And I said, and each of them, this is really fascinating. They didn't even take the time, they're running so fast, to say the same thing, right? And they got 2-3 million views. They're going to get a nice check at the end of the month from or from Twitter, rather, my platforms. And they all say the same thing. It's time to ban third world immigration. Legal or illegal. Ooh, now we want to pull everybody into this craziness in the streets. Hey, we're united, legal or illegal. We've reached the limit. Oh, where were these people last year and the year before when Michael Yon was saying, hey, there's thousands of people just walking into the country? Where were these people? Where was Matt Walsh, Charlie Kirk, and Jack Posobiec? And they go on to say, we've reached our limit and we have a huge cultural, educational, housing, financial, and essential services program to fix now because of it. We need a net zero immigration.
Yep. And if you think net zero is a good thing, guys, it's not. We'll discuss that in another video, but it's not a good thing. It's to do with Gene on the slide, by the way.
No immigration, right? The country's founded on immigration. If we had done it right, it would be merit-based, political asylum-based, and not made exceptions and not let people walk over the border. Okay? And they all said the same thing. Lockstep. Lockstep. They all say the same thing. That's an operation. Whenever you have synchronization by messaging by people with big accounts, you have an operation, which then tells me that everything happening in the streets is coordinated, right? Man, is anything not a fraud? No, I don't think so, guys. Isn't it interesting how for the last 2 years of the Biden administration, all those illegal aliens, those 30-year-old, military-looking, healthy males, no women and children with them, just coming over with their backpack. Isn't it interesting how under the last year or 2 of Biden's term that they just went to their hotels and they were well behaved and they were quiet and they didn't riot in the streets? But now all of a sudden, ooh, illegal immigration. I'm not for illegal immigration. I'm not even for legal immigration that's wide open without conditions. Isn't it interesting how now, all of a sudden now, why? Trump has been in office for 6 months. He didn't threaten them. Oh, I'm going to deport. Not much happened. There's a reason why. All of a sudden now they want you to get angry. Get in the streets. We can't allow this. We'll lose our country. But I haven't seen thousands of illegals, especially criminal illegals. We've seen them let out of detention centers. We haven't seen any of them arrested. And mass deportation efforts, I haven't seen that. Have you? Write to me if they have. Because if this is not all theater, then we would be seeing lots of arrests. That's what I'm looking for.
That's if you guys haven't seen it already, despite it's been up for years, it's been up there since 2010. Then this is what she's on about the lockstep here and all of that, and the surveillance and all of that sort of thing using the mobile phones. It even says by 2025, people seem to be growing wary of so much top-down control and letting leaders and authorities make choices for them. Whatever national interests clash with individual interests. There was conflicts, sporadic, pushback became increasingly and organized and coordinated as disaffected youth and people who had seen their status and opportunities slip away, largely in developing countries. That's when she means about lockstep. And there's a lot more that you see, there's a bit more that going on. But haven't we seen that in the West? It's all planned. And also, yeah, I mean, we see controlled protests from the deep state. There are genuine people from the public that are at these protests as well, that are getting all caught up, and then they have their faces then put on the system, and then the deep state, they watch out for them. There's genuines that keep an eye on them. You know what I mean? They know which ones are paid for and which ones are going to stand up to the state. They know that. So, you know what I mean? And this thing, I got on my arm, guys, this bracelet here, it's got like butterflies on them. I know I created it. And basically, the butterflies represents change and all of that. And you got to be careful on what type of change you bring in. There you go, bring that in. There you go. So yeah, you got to be careful what we bring into this world and all that. And that's why you got to check everything. That's why you got to research everything and all that. And I do want to say this as well. And this is going to piss the controllers off as well. I don't fucking care. All these little institutions and groups and all that and so forth, guys, that have come into being and all that, if they left the earth alone and so forth, right, this world would not have pollution. Think about that. If they did not go for control, they did not go for all of this, there'd be a lot of public family members still alive right now. The deep state and all of that and so forth have killed your family members, and yet you still fund them.
Guys, they want you to beg. They want you to demand. They want you to insist. But you have to take a step back, because you have to be careful what you're asking for. What you're asking for is going to be more rapidly your own imprisonment, your own digital ID controlled, carbon-based prison. Think very carefully. Take your time. Be very deliberate in your thinking before you start going, yeah, I want them out. I want the military. I want this. I want that. Think it through. Think it through. Because when you shoot that bullet doesn't stop in front of you. It goes and it goes and it goes. Follow it to its logical conclusion. We'll see how the rest of the week unfolds. And I'll see you on the next Dr. Jane Ruby show. Have a beautiful Tuesday.
Well, on that note, guys, I just looked at the time. It's up to 2 hours of this live stream. So what we'll do, we'll end it there. But we're going to come straight back, though. I said I'm going to do 6 hours. So what I'll do, I'll break this up into like 3 parts. You know, really it's like 2 hours of each. You know what I mean? We'll just cut it. You know what I mean? And then we'll move on to the next one. You know what I mean? So it makes it easier for people to manage. I know 2 hours for a lot of people will be like, ugh. But I mean, I'm doing it for for the thinkers. I mean, those that can still hold their concentration levels up and all that. I mean, there are other people that do like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and all of that. I mean, if I had to do like 5 minutes, yeah, I wouldn't get my message out. What I want to say. I mean, I do try. I mean, I do. I'm practicing. I use TikTok as a practice to try and get my message down in 10 minutes, and it's working. I gotta be honest. I'm getting better at it. But yeah, let's rock it, and then we'll come back then with like a part 2 and all that. But yeah, it is interesting what we are seeing. Let me. Oh, I'm peeking there, guys. Hold on. We'll bring it down to the green. I'm peeking a little bit, and we'll lock that in. There you go. So yeah, it is interesting that way, guys. Well, we are seeing a lot of people just saying, "Yeah, get after the immigrants and all that and so forth." But you look at, like she was saying right there, I mean, and there is a layer I want to bring on as well. The fact is, guys, when they mean immigrants, they are not looking at like, right, let's say, for argument's sake, say, we take me, I'm born in the UK, and then somebody, let's say, from Ghana comes across and so forth, and people of the UK kicks it, and people want that Ghanaian person to be kicked out. No. What they mean by immigrants is not on that level. What they mean is, on the legal side, on a bit of paper, is if you're not going along with the globalist New World Order, then you are kicked out. If you're not going along with pedophilia, well, that's 98% of us in the UK kicked fucking out then. I'm going to be sent to the fucking sun because I've written stuff on it and spoken out, so I'm going to be sent to the bloody sun and burnt alive. But anyway, if you're one of the people that's against pedophilia and all of that and so forth, you will be kicked out under the Zionist legal legislation of immigrant. Yeah, you will be kicked out. If you're against slavery, which the Zionists is actually pushing, Zionists are pushing slavery, then you will be kicked out. If you want to keep your homes and all that and have it as your own, have your own privacy, you will be kicked out. If you want to have savings and all that in the bank or wherever, yeah, you will be kicked out. See what was forming here, the pattern? So all the morons are going, oh, yeah, get rid of immigrants and all that. And then here's someone like me and other people that have looked into it. And we know what they really mean. We're like, hold your horses. You fools need to have a look what you're actually advocating, what you want these globalist piece of shit that are linked through Tavistock, linked through the World Economic Forum, linked through the Club of Rome, linked to all these other things and so forth, linked with the black nobility, and so forth and all of that. You want these people to kick you and me out. You know what I mean? They're going after the nationals. I don't consider myself as a national, you know what I mean? But I don't like people being, cunts to other people, basically. I mean, in other words, and that's why I get called the mirror, because I mirror the cunts. You stand up to the fuckers. And that's why I keep speaking out. You know what I mean? I've been arrested 3 or 4 times already for speaking up against the tyrannical agendas. They can arrest me 5 billion times, and I'll still keep speaking out. About the 5 billion one, I still keep speaking out. About 5, no, doesn't matter how many times, I'll keep fucking speaking out. You know what I mean? Like I said to a police officer in the back of the van, you're gonna have to shoot me. You're gonna have to shoot me. Because I will not stop. I will not stop speaking out. The police looked at me that day. They're like, oh. Because I said, you're gonna have to shoot me. So, and that's the type of people they don't want, because they know we'll never stop. We'll never stop speaking out. We'll never stop saying what we've got to fucking say. And we'll never stop seeing what's really going on. We'll never stop. And so the Almighty's looking down going, hey, keep going. That's it. Keep going down there. And once you know, when these bodies die, you know, that our flesh pisses off, our souls goes back to the other side, to the soul world. And what you do in this fucking life, you better hope you've done the right things to improve on the soul and so forth. If you've done all the wrong things, I wouldn't like to be you. Just put it that way. I would not like to be you. But anyway, guys, as we come up to the 2-hour mark and all that, I'll end the stream right now, and then we'll come straight back and all that. Catch you on the flip side. Stay positive. Make sure you play food, water, and everything else. And just remember, don't be a cunt to anybody else, okay?
Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. And if you threw a party, inviting everyone you knew, you would see